Welcome to the Geek Easy, fellow geeks. Let's open a beverage of your choice. Because today, I'm going to do a review on the first 4 episodes of Spider Noir. I had heard of the character before. He appeared like once in one of the Sony Spider-Man animations. And I definitely did not know that the show was happening until I happened to just turn on the TV and Prime came up and said, Spider Noir! And so it's like, okay, there's that, and it's got Nick Cage in it. So I was debating, because when you have Nick Cage, there's a certain expectations of how things are going to be. It's like, here's the top. And with him, it's always way over the top. But I decided to get it. And going with, not get it, but watch it. There's also the track record of some of the Sony superhero stuff. I mean, aside from the animated movies, their live action stuff is questionable at best. You might have had one, like first maybe 2 Venom movies were pretty good, and everything else, yeah, you have Great from the Hunter, you have Morbius, yeah. But I said, all right, let's check out the first episode. And it comes up, and you have a choice between full color and black and white. And I chose black and white because it's noir. So it's sort of, the title itself gave a detective feel. And so, God, I'm going to go with black and white. Now, let's get down to the show itself. It is, like I said, I didn't know anything about it, so I went in blind. It is set in Depression and what is the word? Depression era and you can't drink. I just did it a second ago. Era New York, and you have Ben Reilly, who is the titular Spider-Man in this one, who is a detective, and he's kind of, as with everybody else, down on his luck, but he's not Skid Row type. He's just hasn't had a lot of luck. He hasn't paid a secretary in 4 or 5 years, and he is the Spider, or he was. He stopped being the Spider 5 years before, and you find that out early on, and throughout a little bit you find out why he quit being the Spider. He has a detective agency with his secretary, and he's got a friend who was Robbie Robertson, a detective who used to work for the Bugle and covered the Spider. And now he's not, Spider's around, he's looking for work, and also being a black man in that era of time was a little hard for him. He gets hired to do a case by a man an older man who thinks his wife is cheating on him, and he's looking at him, and then the picture of the supposed wife, and he's like, "Yeah, how rich are you, dude?" You know, because he's older and this really young, hot Asian woman. And of course, that's what leads him into things. And it turns out the guy was not said woman's wife. And the woman is going to see the governor. And the woman also happens to be Felicia Hardy, or at least the Black Cat, or what, their version of it. And he gets just thrown into all this other stuff that just keeps snowballing, gets him involved with Silvermane, who is the Irish mob head of the city, who's all powerful. Is this version of I guess the Kingpin, and it just sets up where he starts meeting the different bad guys in the city. Hardy is dating the guy who becomes Sandman. You have all these different people that going in there, and he gets drawn back into becoming the Spider. You never really see him as the Spider in the first episode. Now, the question is, does this show so far? It's I've seen 4 of the 8 episodes that they've already all been dropped. How does it compare to any of the live action stuff? It is incredible. I mean, the writing is top notch. You get whoever done this is keeping. It's written just spectacular. There's motivations for everybody. The characters are nuanced, and everyone's not all good or all bad. You get there's different levels of the personalities. You can sort of see why people are this way. It's not cheesy. It's not horribly bad like Morbius. It's Morbin time. The acting is incredible. Whoever's doing this is keeping Nicolas Cage in check. He's for him a rather subdued character. He's just he's not doing this Nicolas Cage stuff that he's known for. He does a really good job acting, though. The Felicia Hardy type, I don't know if her name is Felicia in this one, does a fantastic job, and she is the Asian woman is, wow, she is just really expressive. She conveys so much with her, just her body and her looks and her voice, because she plays a singer in this one, and she's fantastic voice. She is so good. And there's a character who's a kind of the Silvermane's kind of right hand man guy in there, And I'm sitting there the first like 3 episodes, I'm like, who? I've seen this guy before. Who is he? I don't, I know this guy, I just can't remember where I've seen him. I had to look it up, and it's Lucas Haas. I don't know if any of you recognize that name, but if you ever saw the movie Witness, the Harrison Ford movie from back in the day, Lucas Haas played the young boy that Harrison Ford was protecting in that movie. He's all grown up now. And so he just was this really fun character. And the wonderful thing about the acting, the writing, you don't know who to trust. It's typical, like, typical mystery noir type thing. You don't know who to trust. People, there's one thing here, one thing here. You don't know what their motivations are. You don't know if they're telling the truth. So you have to be super careful. And there's designs amongst designs, and it's just things just keep amplifying. And of course, Nicolas Cage has to become the Spider again to deal with some of the things that are going on, and you can sort of see the relationship developing between the two. And it's just, so far, like I said, I'm only halfway there. The writing is great, and the cinematography. I haven't seen it in color. I mean, like I said, you can get it in color, but in black and white, it is just beautifully shot. They have these shots are reminiscent of the noir stuff from back in the day. If you seen some of the old 40s, 50s type of detective movies, and of course this takes place beforehand because it's in like the 30s. It's shot like that with just these beautiful shots that are just characters in amongst themselves. And you combine it all together, and it is just spectacular. So this is, think of like the Nolan verse with Batman, all right? Especially The Dark Knight. So this is more of a mystery type thing, because he is a private detective as well as a superhero. It's more of the detective thing going with the story, but it is a a superhero thing as well, because you have the superpowers, and it has the spectacular, stuff. It's not super grounded like it was with Batman, but so you do have the power set in there, but it's the writing it's a lot more story driven with the mystery and detective stuff. But they all fit together just perfectly, and it's just incredible. So, first 4 episodes, I'm going to say 5 out of 5. Acting, the directing, the writing, the way it looks, it's a home run, and I recommend it. You don't even really need to be a superhero fan to watch it, or really know anything about the Spider. Everything is set up in here, so you don't need to know anything what's going on. I recommend it. I'm going to pop the TV on here in a second and start watching the rest of them over the weekend. And I'll do a review for the other half when I get done. But so far, episodes 1 through 4. I don't want to go too much into it because I don't want to give any spoilers. But wow. check it out because you'll like it. Anyway, let me know what you think of it. Like, subscribe, possibly share, most of all. Enjoy your Noir Spider-Man.